Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Meat Industry Hall of Fame. I'm Andy Hanasek, Editor-in-Chief of the National Provisioner and Manager of the Meat Industry Hall of Fame. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to the Class of 2021 Inductee video series. Today's video is with Bill Rupp.
There's not many things that happen to me anymore that just totally take me off my game, but the call I got was sure one. That was a call that I really did not expect. So, and then to try to put it in perspective, I went to the website and just toggled back through the years of folks who've been inducted into the Meat Industry Hall of Fame, and gosh, I tell you, it's pretty humbling. Pretty humbling to think that I can be mentioned in that group of people. So I still think I'm a little seeing stars a little over that deal. It was surprising. Well, it's really flattering. I think like anybody's career, I've had ups and downs, and I can remember coming out of the plants and getting into more of a general management career, and then started trying to understand the trading function of the business. And I asked a guy who was working on the floor of the Merck, so that tells you how long ago that was. I said, "What's the definition of a good trader?" And he said, "One more good trade than bad trade." And I think that's maybe to some degree the definition of a good career, because you're going to make some mistakes, you're going to have your ups and downs, and I think maybe I had a couple more ups than I did downs, and so it's really flattering to get recognized, by your peers and by people that you've looked up to your whole career. So it's just humbling. It's the best way I can say it. I'd like to think that I was a key part of both company teams as well as industry teams that really professionalized the industry. When it comes to things like employee safety and food safety, we've just come so far over the years. And it's when I think especially of those two things, I just think of it with immense pride, because those things are important. I remember Dr. Del Allen telling me we had a squabble one day over food safety and the application of it. And Del was the epitome of common sense, and he looked at me and he said, "Bill, it's real simple. If you'll take that home and feed it to your family, then I'll release it to go into commerce." And I thought, boy, he just upped the stakes on that one. But that's the kind of people you got to work with, and that's the kind of decisions you got to make, and you got to learn from those decisions. And then you got to go home and lay your head on the pillow at night and realize that you could, rather than wondering, gosh, did our decision making or our inability to make a decision, is it going to cause someone to get sick or somebody to get hurt? And I think the industry is in pretty good position on those things today. And I like to feel like I had a hand in that professionalism of our approach to those things. It's funny. I think I look at the industry now with greater excitement than I ever have. I look at the industry now and I think of three words: talent, technology, and money. And so I look around, you got all these young people out there that are so much smarter than we ever were. And I think, man, how fun would it be to have these folks on your team? What could you do with folks like this on your team? And then I look at the technologies that's out there. I'm working with two technology startups today, a company called LumaChain and a company called Decision Next. And one focuses on using vision technology and artificial intelligence, and the other one's focusing on predictive analytics. And I think those are both terms I couldn't have spelled a while back. And so to be touching those and then figuring out how we can bring those to the meat industry and what are the benefits that it can create for the meat industry, it's just rejuvenating. It's really exciting to see those things, and who knows how many more, and then wonder how they're going to impact this industry 3, 5, 10 years down the road. I think it's going to be phenomenal. And then I said money, and this industry is performing better than it ever has from a profit standpoint, and money is an enabler too. And when you got the money and you can pour it back into the industry and into the business, that return can be, 100-fold, 1,000-fold, who knows? But it's a great time, great opportunity. So I'd tell you, I'm as jazzed about this industry as I've ever been. I'm kind of playing in it where I want to play in it, and I'm meeting new people that are a lot smarter than I am, and can teach me new things every day. So it keeps me young, keeps it fun. I kind of settled on the saying that it takes a village to raise a child. And I think my career is kind of representative of that saying. And so I think of, the many, many people that work on the plant floor every day that really are the backbone of this industry, and enable it to do the things that it does. And I've, over the years, gotten to know so many of those people so well, and just the kindness and respect that they always dealt with every day. That would be the first group that I'd have to point out. And then I think of, the supervisors and managers that taught me the business as I came up through it. I think of the executives that, helped me move from being a tactical guy to a more strategic guy. I think of the producers and the feeders who, are really part of this industry, and sometimes I think don't feel that way. And, they're key. And every time I sat down with those guys, I always thought, man, they are taking a lot more to bed at night. When they lay their head on the pillow at night, they got a lot more swimming around in it than I think I do. And so tremendous respect for those people. And, then I think of the customers and the consumers that enable us to do what we do. And so, I could sit here and probably mention a few names, but I just think it'd be a crime against all the folks that have really enabled my success through the years. So I want to look at it more in that, hey, I had a village that enabled my success. Well, I think it starts with my wife, Dorinda, and my three kids, Megan and Jake and Nick. Dad was gone a lot, a whole lot. And they kept it together. I mean, they really kept what was going on at home between the ditches, and made it work. And I think they're all better young people for it. My wife probably yearns for those days a little, rather than having me working downstairs from where she is these days. And but they just did a great job, and they freed me up to do what I really dreamed of doing, and what made me tick. So I really appreciate them for their support. Certainly the folks at Cargill, and how they challenged me to grow even before I thought I was ready to grow. Pretty insightful of them. Pretty. They always take the long view, and they certainly did there with myself and a lot of other folks. I think of the folks at JBS, and man, they run a sharp business. They're focused on the details. You learn not to leave any stone unturned from those folks and how they operate the business. So, just good folks everywhere you go. And that, to me, that's the exciting thing about this industry is over the years, we did so much business on the shake of a hand, whether it was buying cattle or it was selling a truckload of tenderloins. We could do it by the shake of a hand. And how many industries can say that? And, and it's still that kind of way. When someone tells you in this industry that they're going to do something, you take it to the bank, it's going to happen. So, it's just really impressive people from that standpoint. I always said, hey, I've never been the smartest guy in the room. And, maybe in the beef industry, we're not the smartest industry in the room, but I think we do a lot of things with mutual respect. And I think we get some pretty good results through doing it that way.